Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for June 25th, 2025 for the lower 48 United States. We're going to be talking about the tropical outlook first and then work our way back to the lower 48 United States. Please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to interpret weather for the lower 48 United States as well as the tropical update and outlook. And I appreciate your support and comments. Now, getting to what you're looking at right now, you're looking at the remnants of post-tropical cyclone Andrea. This was the first named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season basin, and this was located about 650 miles northeast of the island of Bermuda, but now it's quickly accelerated off in the cooler waters here. The remnants of this advisory here, post-tropical cyclone Andrea, max sustained winds are around 35 miles an hour. It's moving very rapidly now, east-northeast at 20 miles an hour. That will continue to accelerate here, and I suspect that this will be the final couple advisories with this system that the National Hurricane System Center issues here. So that's Andrea. The next name on the list will be Barry. We'll see if that comes this month or in July. That's the next name. But here's how it looks on satellite. You can see just a bunch of high cirrus clouds, very little to no convection here, and of course that exposed cold core low center circulation here. You can see that swirl there as it makes its way out in the middle of the Atlantic here. Possibly may clip a little bit of northern Azores with some showers, but I doubt it here. Azores Islands out there. So that's something to keep in mind. The Pacific remains busy. There's an 80% chance of formation in 5 days of the next Pacific storm off the coast of the Pacific coast of Mexico here. We have to wait for that there. That's from July 2nd to July 8th. There's a chance for development there for the 4th of July weekend for that area. So that's something to keep in mind if you're heading out towards that area. Oaxaca State, maybe southward towards Guatemala off the coastline. There's some heavy unsettled water down that way. So looking at our weather today, it is hot. We're in the midst of a heat wave for the mid-Atlantic, northeast, and the southeast, as well as the upper Midwest. This is one of the last days here. Thursday will be tomorrow, will be one of the last days for extreme heat, and then we'll get more normal heat here. But temperatures now 98 degrees Fahrenheit in DC, 94 degrees Fahrenheit in Boston, 88 degrees Fahrenheit in Portland, Maine, 97 degrees Fahrenheit in Tallahassee, 93 in New Orleans, 91 in Dallas Fort Worth, 103 in Phoenix, and it's still rising as it's early in the day over there. Temperatures all around the country. It's summertime here. As you can see, a massive heat wave that's engulfed 2/3 of the country here. Some people say they like the heat or the humidity. Well, it's summertime. We got both now. And some people have been blessed with afternoon showers. Those showers will continue to trek in states along the Gulf Coast here. So you come along I-10 from Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Mobile, Biloxi, Gulfport, New Orleans. You may be experiencing some of those showers even into Houston, Beaumont, the Woodlands, Lakeland, the lakes, all those areas. You could be experiencing those showers. Houston's sitting right now at 85 degrees Fahrenheit, rain cooled. So if you come around the loop, the 610 loop there, that'll make bearing the traffic a little bit easier for you there as you get ready to enjoy your Wednesday evening here. Looking at the National Weather Service hazards here, courtesy of the map here, courtesy of pivotalweather.com, you can see the orange heat advisories here. This extends all the way up from, say, Birmingham, Alabama, into Huntsville, Nashville, Louisville, Paducah, Kentucky, over to Lexington, Ohio, Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, Indianapolis, Indiana, South Bend, and then it comes over to Champaign, Kankakee, down to Peoria, back into St. Louis. Hello to you today, this afternoon, and down in the Little Rock, Conway, Arkansas, places like that, Greenville, down in the SIP, Mississippi, Greenville, and those areas down there in the SIP, and then down over toward the west side here, we have the flood watches and warnings continuing in New Mexico. This includes places like Truth or Consequences, Santa Fe, Taos, Albuquerque, over toward Roswell and the Texas border down there, and with El Paso and Anthony, New Mexico, and Marfa, Fort Stockton, down in those areas there. In the Franklin Mountains, be very careful in those areas. Flash flood warnings in effect for those mountains in New Mexico and West Texas as well. Just something to keep in mind. Now, we did have some severe thunderstorm warnings here. This was included on the Panhandle, Leon County, Tallahassee, the capital there, and just south. So if you come along I-10, 319, Capitol Circle there, coming out of that area there, and down towards the coastline with Apalachicola, Carabel, Port St. Joe, Panama City Beach, those areas are experiencing severe thunderstorm warnings with 1 inch and greater hail and winds exceeding 60 miles an hour. So be very careful along the Gulf Coast there as you make your way home. Now, back up in the upper northwest of Minneapolis, St. Paul, you're under a tornado watch until later on tonight here around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time and 9 p.m. in the yellow here. So if you come along Minneapolis, St. Paul through Rochester, Minnesota, and Albert Lea, Minnesota, be very careful into the northern border with Iowa there. Tornado watches in the yellow is in effect for that. Be very careful there, heading out of the Twin Cities there. So that's what we have in front of us. That now, also some bit of good news: the summer aurora borealis is possible over a couple of a dozen states. Could get an aurora light show tonight as geomagnetic storms storms are increasing the possibility. And so weatherchannel.com, head over there if you want to get the full scoop on the 12 states that could see the aurora light show, absent any clouds or remnants of clouds. So this has been your Weather Guru update for June 25th, 2025. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me once again, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Blessings.